What is up, my friends? Welcome to Electronic Gaming Federation Season 5 here for Rocket League. My name is Jeff, here with Loki, as we are kicking off the 23-24 season. Tyler, you're only getting that once. It's EGFC from here on. So you get it once for the season. All right, we're kicking things off. I'm excited to get this started. We're here in week 1. We're running a little behind, but that is not our fault, all right? It's still plenty of Rocket League coming at you. As always, here at EGF, every school will get broadcasted. So if you don't see your school here, that will be on the other channel that is on official EGF. But, with that housekeeping out of the way, let's talk about these two teams we got coming up.
Yeah, RIT and UConn, the Huskies versus the Tigers. Both of these teams have a really long-standing history in the EGF, and both of them coming off of great seasons last year. For a kickoff week 1 game, I really don't know that you can get more hype than something like this.
Yeah, I mean, this is, well, our RIT struggled last year, but the year before, they were spectacular. And I mean, like 14-2, spectacular. And what's interesting about that is we saw a lot of roster changes coming out of RIT. And oh man, today we could see something quite awesome. They might circle back around, but we won't spoil that surprise just yet. As far as the Huskies are concerned, definitely had a couple of notable graduations. Most notably, Anton, the captain of that squad, led them to their own 14-2 season back in season 4. No longer there. So we'll see how the Huskies have grown. Come and see if Shiro and the rest continue that track of excellence.
Yeah, it really seems like mostly all of the UConn roster and every esports been rotated out pretty hard. So a lot of what we're seeing from that Husky squad is completely different. And what marks a good esports university being above the rest, in my opinion, is their ability to consistently bring in new talent, get them trained up, get them ready to go. So this year is a big test for the Huskies. They need to, stake their name in esports legends. Here, though, for the rosters, if you look over on RIT there, that's not the roster they had last year. That's the roster they had like 2 years ago, old school, throwing it all the way back to that insane run that they had.
Yeah, this is the Season 3 roster, the 14-2 roster that just absolutely took over EGF. And for scheduling reasons or for whatever else, we did not see a whole lot of these 3 last season. I mean, it was mostly a whole list of characters, cast of characters that ended up going 4-12. Couldn't quite find that same synergy, that same explosiveness that we had seen from RIT in the past. Well, guess what? This Jakob Sunblade Sedward roster is back. And this puts a smile on my face. I cannot wait to see them take to the pitch and kick off this season 5.
No, and I love seeing these long-standing squads not only get back together but stay together, because the chemistry in these squads is just better than anything else you've seen. And when you're playing at this high of a level in Rocket League, you've got to get the rotations perfect. You've got to get the positioning perfect. You really have to focus on not just your individual plays, but how you can set up and feed everyone else on your team. A lot of it just comes down to chemistry, how well you know your teammates. And, do you have the eyes in the back of your head able to know exactly where they're going to be so that you can set them up, 3 moves in advance?
And that's just something that comes with time. I mean, that's not something that you can replicate. It's just experience playing together. And there's no shortcut for that. So, and that is something we've already know is baked in with this RIT squad. Now, taking a look at the Huskies, I mean, let's go over there. Shiro is the only returning member that we're seeing coming back from season 4 and the phenomenal run that they had last season. So I'm curious to see if they can continue to build on that same synergy and create the future for Huskies Rocket League.
Yeah, I mean, again, this is where we really see these teams pull apart. All of the best names that you know in esports, they do it year in, year out, every time with new players bringing up talent. We know that the Huskies have a pretty wide-reaching esports squad. We know that they have, a large institution. They have a large talent pool to pull from. We know that they've had a lot of people in reserve. The question is, have they been able to get them up to snuff quick enough and in the program quick enough to be ready for this fall kickoff game?
Well, and how long it'll take.
Yes.
All right, is that so that you'll get that synergy in real quick and kind of, get on your feet and find your momentum early in the season? Or is it going to take a while? Is it going to take half a season for them to gel? And, maybe you have to turn it around in the back half. Either way, we will find out. Season 5 has officially begun here for EGFC Rocket League.
Yeah, and UConn off to a very early start here, already attacking RIT's goal. Not going to matter too much, though. Sunblaze very quickly trying to get that clear out. It doesn't really look like either team has strong control of this ball yet, though. A demo might be able to push it for the Tigers. Open goal, no one's there. And Sunblaze picks us off in less than 30 seconds.
Fancy, no, he just didn't quite get the touch there. Wanted, hoping to get the disruption onto Sunblaze and knock him off course, but no such doing. Sunblaze muscles through, grabs our first goal of the season here for the Tigers. Start things off strong. Looks like they haven't missed a beat since Season 3.
Absolutely not, and I think that goes right back to that timing we were talking about. We saw there, UConn, they had someone in position, they had someone in the goal. They just got there a little bit too early. Weren't quite coordinated with the rest of the team to make sure that the rotations were there to always make sure, you know, hey, if this ball is in position for a shot on goal, someone has to be here to contest this.
Gavin tried to go in against 2 right now, but not going to be able to push it to the outside. It's just a kind of a toss-in from Shiro. See if they can make a play happen. Bounce to the outside. Oh, Gavin crosses around. Didn't have the angle to put it towards net. Perhaps a little bit of a miscommunication there on the offensive side, but Gavin does a good job of keeping it in the zone, and UConn are going to get another look at this goal. Shiro with an opportunity now. Bounced it out. Sunblaze is able to get in the middle of that. That one's on net, but Gavin's going to get back to it and push it out into the corner.
Yeah, great job by Sunblaze, able to take that one. So far, the defense from RIT has been astounding. Really able to keep it on this UConn end and not allow for any good shots on goal. The only time they did, UConn not able to capitalize. Here, though, RIT showing us that the best defense is an offense. Doesn't matter how many shots they can get on goal if they never even get the chance to put it on your half. And that the battle at middle of the pitch, RIT Tigers doing a really good job. But, oh, opportunity once again. Not quite there for UConn. They just can't find that final touch right now.
Oh, they had a player down low, too, with that pinch off the roof. But Blake and RIT is going back the other direction. Jakob's going for the backboard. Gavin doing a good job protecting it here. UConn have not allowed any easy shots off that backboard. RIT have tried a few times now, but UConn's defense holding strong. Other than that 30-second goal, both of our defenses have been able to keep the other at bay. And RIT once again denied their opportunity, but UConn struggling to even put anything on net at the moment. Sunblaze isn't going to let it happen there.
I mean, hey, if you can get out to an early lead, getting a defensive game might do it for you. Sunblaze once again trying to take it to the goal, not quite going to find anything. And RIT at the moment is doing a really good job of just slowing this game down, minimizing goal chances. Oh no, oh no! Sunblaze once again!
Just off of a 50 right at midfield. Sunblaze hits that boost at just the right time. I don't know if Gavin just didn't have any boost or was trying to be a little too conservative with it, didn't want to spend the resource, but it's a fatal error. One that Sunblaze capitalized, that experience showing through in that critical play. 2-0 here in our first game of the season between RIT and UConn.
I love the finesse off that 50-50. I mean, the angle, you've got to hit it right over the other car on a perfect line towards the goal. That's something that you don't even get to recreate in practice. Already, though, RIT, doesn't matter that they've got demo down. They're already taking more shots on the goal and to put even more pressure onto this Huskies squad. And at the moment, Huskies just don't seem to have an offensive response. And with 1:30 almost left on the clock, they've got to find a change really quick. But Jakob out here closing the door.
I mean, every time UConn tried to get out of the zone, either Sunblaze or Subboard was right there. The speed and aggression out of RIT were just put a stranglehold on UConn, and they could knock it out. You can just kind of feel it collapsing in on them, running out of resources. Eventually, Jakob will put it in the back of the net. A job well done, rewarded with a 3-0 here in our first game. Jakob with possession now. Noah was trying to see if they could break this goose egg.
Well, I mean, hey, at this point, time to make adjustments, see if you can get prepped for that next game. We're looking for, less than 30 seconds of goal here for UConn. I don't know, they have quite that much left in them. Going to be getting ready for that, get adjustments rolling through here.
2v1.
At the moment, though, it just looks like RIT is a little bit too strong on that offensive pressure. We're seeing the Huskies really, really struggle to get the ball onto the orange side of this pitch.
Well, and once they cross, it looks a little analysis paralysis on what to do with it. We just saw 2v1 on the other side. The pass was a little late. It gave time for RIT to get set, so the other players rotate back defensively. Play in front of the net here. It's dangling. Shiro will get rid of that old bagel. And UConn find their toughest goal of the season. The first one. You break the seal. Now you know you got the confidence to do it. You know, the lead's cut. You were saying it's going to be tough, but hey, you know what? That's the first step.
I mean, we've seen crazier things in Rocket League. 30 seconds per goal, definitely not out of the question, just a very difficult question, if you will. Here, though, as time continues to tick down, UConn, they got one goal off of just a nice little dangle in front. You know, defender couldn't quite get it away. Trying to recreate that situation, going to be tough, though. We need to see, you know, UConn kind of tune up that finesse a little bit in front of the goal. That communication that you get from the chemistry being so hard to get, really, as what I think sets them up with that finesse opportunity. However, you know, with those situations where they have those 2-on-1s, we haven't seen them really be able to decide what plan of attack, you know, needs to happen. Instead, just kind of taking whatever given to them. But right as I say it, chemistry comes on through for Shiro. What an amazing cross. Everyone getting a part of the play there. Noah being able to screen stuff. Shiro knocks it in, and Gavin, the one setting up the cross in the first place.
Oh, that's just some good old tenacity, good old-fashioned perseverance coming out of UConn. I don't know if they really intended that. I don't know if they read it. It was a good play out of the corner from Gavin. Started the whole thing off nice. But now with 3 seconds left, UConn's got to keep it in the air, or game one is going to go to the Tigers, which it shall. Ball falls. And despite some late-game heroics from the Huskies, RIT take game one.
Yeah, no volleyball today. I think that puts the Huskies in a great position for the second game, though. You know, right at the end, we saw the offensive power that they can bring to the table. They finally started connecting on those assist plays, really getting each other set up rather than just taking whatever RIT was given them. I think if they can take that momentum into this second game, we could very easily see, you know, this go from a very strong RIT presence to, you know, 3-1 perhaps.
Well, and you know, I just in a 5-minute glance at this new UConn squad, we kind of saw a bit of that growth. We saw them get a little bit more decisive, a little more trust. I mean, just ever so slightly start to build there in that final minute, and they're able to put a pair of goals in. So we could definitely be in for a competitive one here.
Yeah, I would absolutely love to see that. You know, we kept seeing those big setup plays that give you those consistent opportunities from RIT, which again, this RIT squad, they know each other. They've got the chemistry to go for those big setup plays time and time again. They already know each other, where each other are always going to be. The question is, can the UConn squad get that up to snuff? And we've seen them, you know, making adjustments, making changes to get that ready within just the first game, just that first 5 minutes. So I, at the moment, think this UConn squad is something to be scared of. Just, you know, give them another 5 minutes and who knows what they can put out there.
Well, you're in luck. Okay, we have another 5 minutes on the clock. Game two is underway, and we're right in front of the UConn net. Start things off right where RIT wasn't. They lived here for a number of minutes. They're in game one. Still haven't gotten a really good look at the net just yet. UConn is keeping them disrupted. And Gavin wants out of the zone, but Jakob won't let him.
Now we're going to see a little bit of fight for midfield. No one really has a ton of boost to make a play off this. So right now we're just going to see a lot of bit of setup. Everyone trying to get back together, reorganize, and it is going to be Sebward able to take this one back up the pitch. And right as I say that, this midfield battle just continues. Neither team really having complete control of this ball yet.
Really nice touch from Noah to keep that one in the zone. Shiro gets beat. Sebward's able to muscle a pass. It's a 2v1 in front of the net. It's just Noah to block this. Able to stop Sunblaze. Now up top to Jakob is intercepted. Shiro completely intercepts the cross. Sunblaze look gets touched as well. Will not be on mark. Sunblaze trying to kick it back out to the middle. But RIT, not a clean rotation there on the back of it. Will get a demo for their efforts. But UConn looked to have had a couple of chances to stabilize, even grab that Cardinal boost. And Shiro is going to kick one towards the net. UConn denied the opening goal.
God, both of the defenses in this game really locking it down right now. I think they took that first game just to, you know, realize what the other team's game plan was, kind of what each player likes to do, and they're already implementing it to counter on this defensively. Last time we saw an offensive push right out of the gate, like 3 goals in 2 minutes. This time, 2 minutes have gone by, and we've seen like 3 shots on goal. Both teams doing such a good job of taking away those shot opportunities.
You kind of really reacted well to this aggression. You have to do it again. Look at that touch from Gavin to push it out. Both Sebwood and Sunblaze went straight to the wall. Got completely juked. Now Gavin's got to look at the net. Sebwood with a big save. Denied it, keeping us at 2 bagels on the board. And a long ball will slow us back down. Sunblaze chasing this one in the corner, looking for somebody in the middle. Opted to try to shoot it themselves, but not able to get anything on towards the net at all.
That was just a defensive hero right now. Anytime UConn has a good look at the goal, it's like, oh, no one's there, no one's home, no way anyone can get this. And then at the last moment, every single time, Sebwood is there, doing work for this UConn, or as it was for this Tiger squad. And right as I say that, here's an opportunity. Demo comes through, small man advantage. Can they find it? No! Just a little bit too high. Sunblaze, the offensive presence for RIT, just not able to thread the needle.
And that's where I might see these RIT players kicking off a little bit of that rust as they get back into competition again for the first time in a while, at least that I've seen. Good aerial pass there is going to escort RIT into the zone, but Sunblaze kind of gets beat by Noah. Jakob's still able to take a somewhat decent look at the net. Did a good job of just getting a piece of that ball whatsoever, and RIT are able to keep it in the zone at the very least. Finally, Noah gets the clear.
RIT doing a really good job with their rotations here, able to make sure that even when the ball gets cleared out, they can quickly respond and get it back on the Huskies' side of the pitch and just keep this pressure on. Here, though, the first time we get to see this clear, maybe go for something not going to happen. Can anyone get there? No! Sebwood, they're on defense. Now, don't even need to go to the offensive side of the pitch to get the goal. They can clear it from their own side, and RIT gets on the board with 1.
Pretty deep into their own side, too. It just perfectly finessed to get just enough height to get above the defense, but it's still drop into the upper 90. What a well-placed shot coming out of the vet Sebwood.
I mean, hey, Sebwards, they're at home on the orange side. They got all they need on the orange. There's no reason to go for the blue. They can score, they can guard, everything. It's all coming up on Tiger's side.
It's all looking strapped at the moment. 60 seconds remaining. Game 2 and UConn's chance to tie up this series, unless they find themselves staring down the barrel of match point. Shiro was able to get behind that ball. Sebwood wanted to beat him to it, but a little too far back. Opportunity here, but Shiro is denied by Sunblaze, who's going through the skies. Gavin able to grab this one, and they're not going to get burned twice in a row from Sebwood. At least they'd hope not. Jakob looking for Sebwood up top, drop down into the middle. Nobody there. Sunblaze gets demoed en route, and UConn with 30 seconds are screaming back into the orange half. I say that, they get stopped the midfield. And Sebwood's gonna dance around for goal number 2.
What a nice light touch there right at the end. Sees Noah. I love that. Almost looks like a little juke. The moment they see the defender commit is when they finally go and grab the touch to just slide it right around. Sebwood right now looks like they can just do everything.
Do no wrong. That's the only thing Sebwood can't do is make a mistake at this point. Holy crap. Sebwood now driving into the corner. Jakob's going to go up and beat 2 and puts that ball straight up in the air. Keeps it in the blue half as we dwindle into single digits on the clock. Cross pass, just keeping the ball out of the hands of the Huskies. Noah is able to get it up in the air, but down by 2. This is a foregone conclusion. RIT on match point here to kick it off in EGFC Season 5.
They're just continuing to look very, very clean. I love seeing that anyone on their team can step up whenever they're needed. Last game, we saw a lot of Sunblaze. This game, we're seeing a lot of Sebwood. This trend continues. Maybe we get to see a whole lot of Jakob on game 3 to put it away.
2 goals on 5 shots, 2 saves as well there for Sebwood. Oh man, you weren't kidding. Talk about a one-man army. That was ridiculous. Both sides of the pitch didn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow. Like, what do you even do against that? And that one, I mean, we were talking about going into game 2, how we felt like, the Huskies were kind of closing the gap there at the end of that first game. And we know the series could have being very competitive. Oh my, RIT said, no. They ran away with that 11-2 win shots. Connecticut barely even got a look at the orange half of the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's not just the losing team who can make those mid-match adjustments. RIT doing an amazing job right there. Something I've noticed, though, is I think like half of RIT's goals have come from either like mid-pitch or RIT's side, it seems like the Huskies are having a really hard time, defending against the launch shot. Seems like they're really, really overcommitting to this offensive pressure right now anytime they see an opportunity. And it's leaving their back door open for RIT to come and take advantage of it. And RIT has got the skills to take those long goals if you give them an opening.
I mean, I can't help but feel for the Huskies, though, because what do? RIT has been so aggressive. I mean, it makes sense for UConn to be like, no, we got to push back. We got to set the pace in this series. So UConn are trying to get aggressive and take more of the pitch, and then they just get beat in the backfield. So it seems like a catch-22 situation thus far for the Huskies. We'll see if they can claw their way out of it. No pun intended, truly.
Well, at the moment, Demolition, claws are coming out from the Tigers. They can send their way back onto the Husky side of this field, which seems to be the song and dance of today. The blue seems to be a popular color at the moment. We don't really need to see much orange side, as the Huskies seem to like the home field advantage, not being able to find a way to get out of their own house, as RIT just continues to put on this pressure. A little bit of a stoppage in the corner, almost gets it around Gavin, but not quite. Even though they get the clear, however, RIT continues to have someone at midfield every time ready to set it back up.
Yeah, and I liked how UConn sent two into the corner, make sure RIT just can't play their game and get comfy out of that corner and set up two in front of the net. So UConn have been putting good pressure over there, and I really like it, but they are struggling to keep it out of the other zone as Sebward comes screaming back into the blue half now. Oh, that cross misses, but Sebward's just going to pick it up themselves.
Good Lord, RIT in transition is a force. Anytime UConn tries to get it over to, who even needs help? Sebward, this can just be Sebward versus UConn at this point. Like, setting himself up there.
I mean, here for the replay, but one of the big con.
Yeah, okay. All right. As we get set up back here, small little setup and midfield. Once again, UConn having an issue on their own side. Whenever we see them trying to set themselves up for their own play. All right, trying to set themselves up for their own play. We just see them fall off so hard. They can't really get more than one good shot on RIT's goal before they're able to send it back through, before they're able to get a second one. RIT doing such a good job of taking the ball away and continuing to put pressure on the Huskies side here. This continues to be the name of the game. Huskies stuck on their own field. Sunblaze trying to set something up here, not going to happen. Noah finally makes it over onto the orange side of the field. Rare Currents, can they keep it there? No! Zero not able to put up enough of a defense, and we're just right back on the UConn goal. Noah trying to find their way back in. Still no luck, as it just continues to get battered around on this UConn side. The Connecticut side, do they have a block? They do, but the rebound is there. Can they get the third one? Not quite. And UConn continues to have a lifeline to get back into this.
Yeah, I had a little internet hiccup and come back, and doesn't really look like I missed a whole lot. We're still playing it in the blue half. Shots a little off the mark here for RIT, but UConn are hanging on by a thread here. Here's Sunblaze trying to see if they can break that thread. That pass to Jakob will do the trick.
Jakob, doing such a good job with all of these rebounds. RIT consistently putting pressure on rebound after rebound after rebound after rebound. And I mean, hey, I'm a hockey fan. I love these rebound goals. I think it's the easiest way to find an entrance. And RIT making use of the easy path right now. Finding the path of least resistance to get their points on the board.
It hasn't been easy by any means. UConn have done a good job of protecting. I mean, look at that stuff on the inside corner, protecting their backboard. But RIT are back, baby. I mean, this aggression, this is what has been missing from Tigers Rocket League, and it's been a joy to see. Oh, this is a 1v2 favoring UConn. Oh, but they're not able to get it done. Noah tried to drop it back. The pass just a little off, perhaps trying to get a little too fancy in that situation.
With 1 minute remaining, it is do or die time for UConn. We need to see a goal every 30 seconds. They almost lived up to it last time. Make it a goal every 20. Another huge play by RIT.
And evenly distributing their goals across the day. So we're looking at, that's the goal number 3 for Jakob on the day. Sebward with 3-2 coming out of Sunblaze there in our first game. The starting 2 goals of the season here for RIT. Everybody on this squad is a threat. Everybody is a weapon. Sebward is in the junkyard at the moment, but Noah can't quite find the mark. Ball's going to go over Gavin. Sunblaze just snatches it away. Noah's there, says, no, wait, that is mine. I want that back. Give me a shot at this goal. Gavin will take it. Gavin will find it. Gavin will score.
UConn finding their first goal of the game. 30 seconds on the clock. It looks a little bit spicy. Don't know if they'll be able to pull this one back. Nonetheless, I think this is a really good start of the year for this UConn squad. RIT looking exactly in the form we expected them to be, bringing back the old squad. UConn here bringing in the new squad. Not quite able to overcome the veterans, but I think what we've seen here from the Huskies shows that, you know, give them another week, give them another 2, and they'll be right in the top of this league.
Yeah, and again, I believe they are up against some extremely difficult opponents here in RIT. So I have big hopes for UConn this season. I think we saw a lot of great things out of them today. Huge congratulations to Gavin for the first goal of their career here in EGF, if my notes are correct. So, I mean, a lot's for them to build on going into the rest of the season. Tigers, holy cow, they are going to be fierce. They are looking like the kings of the jungle right now. I mean, granted, this is week 1, still very early, but holy cow, what a performance out of RIT today as they close out the 3-0 sweep to start off Season 5.
Yeah, RIT back in form and back in force after that first game. They did an amazing job of just embodying the concept of, you know, the best defense is a good offense. If it's never on our side of the field, they can't score goals. And they did so
rotations with each other, trusting each other to be in the position. I mean, we're looking at some, you know, dangerous attacks in the blue zone coming out of, you know, Sebward in particular, but they make the steals, they keep the ball in their opponent's half. RIT are going to be scary, especially, you know, if they accuracy and kind of dial in those mechanics like we're used to seeing, then they are going to be a top contender this year, and I can't wait to see more out of them. But hey, that does it for our first game of the night here on EGF Rocket League. We do still have a couple more coming your direction. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to pass the baton over to another fellow.
Not yet. We got an interview with RIT.
We do have an interview.
Yeah, had some small technical difficulties with OBS crashing, but don't worry, we're all good to go now, and we'll be right back with an interview with RIT.
Fantastic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to week one of EGFC Rocket League. We are ready to go into our second game of the night. We are seeing Northern Arizona University NAU versus Delaware, and I could not be more excited for this one. I am joined by Apcon. How are you feeling tonight?
Oh, I feel great. After the first dominant game which we had from Rochester, I think that's the last thing that any team here want to go through here from the very first week itself. But taking a look at after the schedule, it was indeed a tough series for the side of Huskies. Up next, it's going to be the side of Lumberjacks going up against Blue Hands. It's going to be Delaware versus Arizona, and I'm going to be pretty excited to see. We got some amazing players who have been up since the pretty previous seasons as well. So I'd love to see how the progress continues for them.
Yeah, if we're looking for a schedule tonight, we can see one more game after this one, Auburn versus Xavier. But right now, we're just going to focus on these Blue Hens and Lumberjacks. Delaware, consistently one of the top teams here in EGF. They've done an amazing job throughout the years. Consistent pretty much across every single esport. They usually come out very, very strong here going on this roster. You can see we have Stellar, Scooter, and Odds coming out for the Blue Hens. Meanwhile, NAU bringing us Chronicle, Beast, and Galaxies. Most of these players, I believe, are relatively new, bringing us into a brand new season. Just like all collegiate esports, we got to get those rotation. Old players leave, new players in, and great programs take themselves apart by consistently being good while rotating those players. So it'll be interesting to see this year of, can these rosters live up to their previous season records?
Exactly. I think Beast is going to be the newest addition towards the entire I'll say party. But nonetheless, I'd love to see how situations are going to come up from the side of Delaware. They have odds, they have Scooter, Stellar, and I'm going to be pretty excited to see if we were to put any prediction. What are they going to be? What are the thoughts going to be on this, Loki?
I mean, I've got to imagine Delaware comes out pretty strong here. They actually have returned all of their players from last season. Beast, only new player on those two rosters. And so I would be amazed if Delaware doesn't come out swinging here. We saw in the last match how much that team chemistry matters. We saw in the last match how much having that consistency, that veteran status really matters for these teams getting themselves up into Rocket League. And so seeing Delaware coming out swinging here, coming out fast, coming out quick would be completely on brand. That's what they've done in pretty much every game so far this year. That's what they've done in pretty much every esport ever in EGF. And so to not see them come out strong here would be a really big surprise.
I mean, that's going to be, like pretty interesting situation to watch out for. But I'm really excited to see how Team Arizona are going to play around the new roster. How they're going to play around the new addition, and things are going to be pretty much interesting. It's going to be a BO5 series just as the previous one. We will be starting things up pretty quickly. And indeed, it's the very first week. I'm going to be, just waited till the game starts. And here we go. The game has pretty much started. We have the side of Team NAU on the blue. And there we go. The first attempt comes up. A good kickoff for the side of NAU. But that doesn't last long as the counter attack just comes in. And that's the first breakthrough for the side of Stellar. It's going to be an amazing start, which you wouldn't have expected if you're the side of Delaware.
Yeah, Delaware coming out strong right now. A great start to the night here as they're able to grab themselves a goal before anything even really gets going. Talk about coming out swinging. Delaware instantly setting themselves apart as Odds here already trying to keep this offensive push back on. Galaxy's in the goal at the moment, but it's not going to matter as Beast is able to hit the ball away, trying to get it back onto this Lumberjack side. Still not going to find it, though. The offensive pressure is there. Shot on goal. A little bit off to the right. So Lumberjacks trying to build up this offensive drive more, still not finding a huge entrance here as the Blue Hens are able to just keep this ball kind of in a nebulous space where no one's really able to make a great play on it.
They look to crumble all the way towards the midfield. Like, the defensive duties are so well played. Constant attack back-to-back from the side of Arizona. Just waiting to get one, opportunity. But yet again, the constant pressure is being built up, and Team Delaware looking strong in these mid-pressures. Scooter this time finds the ball. This could be an opportunity. The pass is there, but there's no player towards the center to make the most out of it. The value wouldn't have been Max. Scooter once again tries, but off aims. He aims for himself, but that's going to be Galaxy will get the clearance.
Yeah. We see these teams start to settle in. I really do think Delaware's looking like they have the better pressure right now. These midfield contests, you know, we see it time and time again, are really what decide the pace of these matches. And at the moment, Delaware's just doing such a good job of keeping the ball on NAU's side. Lumberjacks here not really able to set up a good offensive push out. We're really only seeing them get off 1, maybe 2 shots before Delaware just clears the ball out to the other side and gets their own offensive possession moving. Here, though, right as I say that, NAU is starting to change that narrative. This is the first really strong offensive push we've seen for them in a moment.
Delaware, they have the lead. First half of the game about to end, and this is where, if you're the side of Team Delaware, you really need to make sure that you have your lead up. Any equalizer could really be a chance for setback, and that's what Team Arizona is looking for. Stellar with the ball this time, looks for a bomb, misses his chance. Odds meantime loses the 50. The ball is still all the way in the favor of Team Delaware as they go for a side wall. The area looks promising. That's a good dribble, but the bomb comes from its team, I think, and that's going to open up window for the start of Team Delaware.
Yeah, Delaware now trying to find another insurance goal to truly set themselves apart. This defense from NAU, though, has really come across as so much stronger than it started out as, able to put a lot more pressure on this Delaware side. The ball movement as well coming in so clutch here, as the control over the space seems to be completely different. But the Delaware defense at the moment bending maybe, but not breaking, as they give themselves an opportunity for an open goal. Can they get there in time? No! Beast's gonna get demoed. Can they get the ball back over on the cross? They cannot. Galaxies is there in time. Take it away. Closing the door on a golden opportunity for Delaware. What an amazing defensive stop! And they take it right to their own goal. NAU putting themselves right back in the game.
1 minute 39 seconds, almost on to the final 100 seconds, and that's where Team NAU finally get the breakthrough. They finally get the equalizer. This is that one window they were waiting to capitalize on, and the moment they get it, they are just up to capitalize. Once again, a good kickoff, but on the back lines, also is going to be the one who will make the most. Scooter from the back comes in. There's a pass towards center, but Beast quite anticipating the positions of each and every play, and this is where Team NAU are now going to get the counter pressure on.
Now trying to find their opportunity to take the game and send it away. Meanwhile, Delaware a little bit stuck on the defense at the moment. Beast trying to dribble it past, not going to really find anything there. Galaxies with the shot, going to get knocked away. In the air, can anyone get to it? Yes, it's Beast. The setup not quite there for Chronicle, though. Their final touch is just a little bit off center. Now Delaware back on offense for their own opportunity.
Chronicle. Good pass. If Beast could have received it, that would have been an open window, but nonetheless, the 50 gets lost from the side of Stellar as he still manages to get the demo. Oh, good defensive duties yet again from the side of Delaware. We are down to the final 35 seconds. Galaxies passes it back towards Chronicle. Chronicle with a good air control, but misses his chance. Final 30 seconds, and now both of these teams are going to look for one open chance, and that's going to pretty much even things up to get the victory.
Delaware now still not able to get out of the blue end. The gray has been waiting for the ball to meet it, and it just can't find its path. And they're doing such a good job keeping it on Delaware end. Finally, here's the opportunity for the Blue Hens. Last chance. Galaxy's gonna knock it away. Oh, final shot. No, says Beast. One last volleyball chance. Can they knock it down in time? No one's there for it. And we're looking at the first overtime of the season.
Close game, and that goes all the way towards the overtime for the start of Team Arizona and Delaware. Stellar opens up a chance. He beats 2 players. He's just waiting for one more. It's going to be down to Galaxy. Stellar still waiting on the back line. Odds is going to lose the 50, but from the back lines comes Stellar. Stellar yet again looking to make some big moves. He runs out of his boost, but there is a progression up still from the start of Team NAU. Team NAU, they have lost the entire control towards the backside. Stella backs off with odds, but Galaxy has a shot on target, but back again. Stella is going to be the savior who will be keeping things up for the start of NAU.
Yeah, we looked here coming into this one as Delaware being the team with more experience, Delaware being the team that's better comprised, got more chemistry, more veteran presence. At the moment, though, NAU really taking that card, and right as I say it, NAU living up to the hype, scores the goal and puts the game away. NIU coming out commanding in this first game.
And I think, if I'm not wrong, was it just one of the missed flicks that took place? A pretty unfortunate one. Losing to this in an overtime is indeed going to be pretty damaging one. But you can completely see how the mid-round adaptations came in from the side of Delaware. They got the very first goal in the very, I think, 28 seconds when we were inside the game. It was a successful kickoff, and that was really, they made the most out of their opportunities, and that's what Delaware happened to do yet again in an overtime, having a attempting for a long range shot. That the rotations are going to be pretty jumbled up if you're the side of Arizona. All the three players' attempts were coming in. Not much cases that we saw some of the double commits, but these overcommitments really resulted in them having an open net. And in the end, it was a very unfortunate misfit that took place to get the side of Team Delaware to the first point in the series.
Yeah, I feel like we, imagined Delaware was going to come out of this game swinging, come out this game with that chemistry backing them, come out into this game with the experience backing them. But at the end of the day, NAU really set themselves apart on that front. The control of the ball, especially in midfield, especially with those rotations, really set them up at an advantage here because Blue Hens just weren't able to find control. They weren't able to find it going for the first half of the game. They looked great on it. They were really able to keep the movement. And then right around that made it, time mark, and AU just did an amazing job switching it right back over into their control. And they kept that for pretty much the rest of the time. And I don't super know what adjustments to make there for the Blue Hens. I mean, NAU is just looking good on all fronts at the moment. It doesn't really look like there's a weakness to exploit on their end.
Exactly, but nonetheless, first game up, and that's going to be a 1-0 start. It's going to be the head start that they were surely looking forward for. But moving on to the next game, it has to come in. Delaware, the way they managed to get the first one and then just lose it all out in the overtime, it's going to be an unfortunate. But for now, odds is going to be having a pretty decent, kickoff start. Scooter coming to make the most out of the situation from the backline. Beast gets the boost, the ball still right up in front of him. Team Delaware look to fight to the midways, but nonetheless, NAU is still looking strong in their defense.
Yeah, going into game two, we might see a little bit of a difference in pace here. Last game, we started out on those West servers, giving NAU a little bit more advantage there. But since these teams are so desperate, whenever a team loses, we're going to hop over onto their server. So now we're on the East Coast, in Delaware here, kind of able to defend their home territory advantage on this game. So if you see a bit of a difference in pace coming out from Delaware, that's probably one of the reasons why. As we get set up on this NAU end, doesn't look like either team has great control. Long shot here, not really gonna find anything. Lumberjack's able to keep it on out. There's a cross, but Scooter's not there in time. Odd doing the best control of it, but once again, there's just not a University of Delaware player able to take advantage of the setups from the rest of the team. Finally have something there from Odds, the connection, but just gonna knock it a little bit too high.
Galaxy, meantime, with a shot, the chip was indeed interesting to see as it just overs around the top crossbar. But nonetheless, it's going to be the start of Team Delaware, who are constantly building these pressure from the very starting minutes. Chronicle, meantime, from the side walls, goes towards an air dribble, has a promising chance, but there's no one to get the conversion right. B still wins the 50, but not for too long as Chronicle comes in from the back lines. The pass is towards the center, but it's going to be NAU. It's going to be Scooter alongside Stellar, who might want to look for a clearance. Ball still not looking in a very tough, in a comfortable situation, but NAU, oh, the possession and the entire control from the side of Delaware looks so strong in the second game, and this could be that one chance. Chronicle with an opening, and that's going to be Team NAU who will be getting the first goal.
Yeah, great shot by there. Able to get an assist a little bit from Stellar. Don't think it would have mattered had Stellar been there or not. Ball would have been going in anyways. And just like that, NAU sets themselves up. Last time we saw them playing from behind for most of the game, getting that late goal to even it back up. Now, though, NAU in the driver's seat, I really would be excited to see them play that lockdown defense that we know they can do. Only half time left in this match. They switch to a super defensive, super slow style. They can give themselves an advantage, but Scooter responds quickly, not letting anything go unanswered.
I think that was a complete clean goal. A big punishment for the sort of team. NAU just left the net open. They were going in for the boost pad, and before they could even come back up, that was all gone. Scooter didn't take much time, but Galaxy, yet again, just instantaneously as the kickoff goes on, comes out to be the one who is on the top. Beats one, but that's an instant clearance. It's going to be all down to Chronicle and Galaxy. They're going to get the clearance comfortably as Stella still fights in the mid. 50-50 did being denied, but there comes Scooter from the back lines. In Delaware, down to the final 2 minutes. A chance, but Odds is going to miss it. Stella yet keeping the hopes alive.
Stellar now trying to find their way in. Sets it up for Scooter. Not going to find it. Don't worry here. Odds coming in from midfield, but the bounce doesn't quite go their way. As a result, they don't have a great setup there. Shot's going to go a little bit high. Chronicle now looking to get this goal out. If you get the ball out, not going to be able to do so. Stellar didn't find their goal the first time, didn't find their goal the second time, but third time's a charm. And Delaware taking the lead right back.
What a goal to watch out for. Delaware seems to be right back in game number 2, but yet, as we don't go down to the final minutes, this is not going to be easy. NAU, they have been known to play, to get themselves strive, in these under pressure situations, and this is what they will be counting on. Down to the final minutes, Scooter yet again wins the fight towards the midfield. There's an open chance. Beast is the only player, but before he could cut things off, he loses the opportunity. Beast with an instant counter attack. There's a pinch, but the pinch isn't going to land. Stella from the back lines looking for the clearance, but he has no boost. Galaxy does realizes it, but that's going to be a good off-angle position. Scooter goes all the way up the airs. It's going to be Oz who will be looking out for opportunity, but Beast denies him.
1 minute remaining now for the Lumberjacks. Need to find something, and dang do they. Anytime I seem to talk about time ticking down or someone having control or needing to find a score quickly, it sure seems to come. You know what they say, build it and they will come, speak it and they will score. And here NAU once again setting themselves up for a clean overtime. They can stop Delaware from scoring again, vice versa, going for this Delaware squad. Beast already trying to get it set it up. Newcomer into the E-League, newcomer in EGF, newcomer into the Lumberjacks, trying to make their own name. Thus far in the game, they've been absolutely insane. That shot's a little bit off. Don't worry, Chronicles got the rebound.
I didn't mean when I said that whenever Team NAU is under pressure, they tend to thrive in excellence, and what a setback. Down to final, I think 58 seconds. We were looking after a 2-1 score, and Team Delaware, it seemed that they had the entire control in the game, but the hold all of a sudden completely slips out the hands of Team Delaware as now we move on to the final 30 seconds. 50-50 yet again being capitalized from the start of Delaware. It's down to the final 23. The demo comes in. Galaxy is taken down. It's only 2 players. Chronicle has to save him unless Galaxy comes back up with the spawn. Down to the final 10 team. Delaware still tends to get the ball towards their control, but odds is going to be all down to the final 10.
Them bounce on their way. They've got friends from a teammate, but not going to be able to get too much there. This NAU defense is so strong. Now for volleyball, looking for that final shot. Not gonna happen. The connection not there, and the Lumberjacks put themselves in a 2-0 lead. I don't want to say this is a surprising upset, but this is not what we expected from this Delaware squad. We expected them to come out, be so coordinated, so strong. And at the moment, that just seems to be turned on its head. The narrative of Delaware is consistency year in, year out across different esports, no matter what it is. They are consistent in what they do. Consistency today just does not seem to be enough when you're up against this explosive squad of the Lumberjacks.
especially if you take a look after the the games, it's been a only 1 goal differential game, which just managed to go in the favor of Team Arizona. But I'd love to see what's gonna be in for the final game. Like Chronicles is having the game. First game goes insane in the overtime. Second game gets 3-goal hat trick for himself, and with that, he brings out a team Lumberjacks all the way from down to like what 2-1 scoreline. They were looking as if they were stumbling a little bit out of getting the equalizer and getting the goal in the final seconds to lock things up. Now, as we progress up with the series point, it's gonna be the third game, and Team Delaware, they need to make sure that they somehow manage to at least get that first series point, or else things are not looking pretty good for them.
Yeah, do or die moment now for Delaware. I think the change for them needs to come on some of those individual shots. I don't know that you can change the pace of the game against this NAU squad. They seem to have a really, really good control of it. But Delaware is still getting open looks. They're still getting these opportunities. They're just not quite having the accuracy that you would love to see off of some of these things. That's a perfect example. They have an accuracy off that high connection, getting themselves set up for a nice slam dunk into the goal, but they just don't quite connect. Time in and time out. They're just one step away from finding their goal. They need to make better use of the opportunities that they're getting. Just like that, Stellar living up to their name with an amazing play off the top rope to get Delaware their lead.
This is what Team Delaware needs, and finally, getting the first goal once again in the very starting minutes, it's going to give themselves the relief. But we have known this. This is not the first time, but this could be a disappointment. A second on the conversion, just the moment we kick things off with the kickoff, and that's going to be the other one in the first minute itself for the third game. Now this is a, I'll say this is a complete relief for them. Getting the lead which they wanted, it's going to be down to 4 minutes. They have to make sure that this doesn't slips out. This doesn't goes in the hands of Team Arizona. Nonetheless, Scooter once again trying to find some value out of that 50. Stellar still up in the sidewall, beats one. For options, there's no one in the mid to get the conversion. But yet again, the Team NAU are really going to be just disappointed from what start they have. And they will be looking to get those, like constant aggressive plays as they tend to do in the final minutes.
Yeah, NAU here needing to make plays. No worries though, they've got plenty of time on that clock. Almost 2 minutes for a goal, and we've seen them able to make moves. However, though, this Delaware attack onto the NAU side seems to be ever increasing. The story of the games before this one was NAU's control of the ball. Now Delaware's turned that on the head, completely whisked it away. No one's home other than Galaxies. Can they get it past? Yes, they can! Stellar putting up a third goal now for the Blue Hens.
The patience, the mind games completely outplays and takes the third goal. We were talking about the hat trick from the start of, I think, Chronicles, but this is indeed an interesting fight between Chronicles and Stellar. A bunch of demos towards the midfield. Galaxy coming from the back lines. Arizona still looking for an opportunity, and finally the moment get the chance, they make the most out of it. They get the first goal. Still, it's gonna be a long, I'll say a marathon race. Like, it's gonna be 2 more goals for them to cover up, and then 2 more games of series if they look to give a reverse comeback. But Team Delaware, they just do not want to give out that lead that they have got. A 3-0 start, and finally that's when Team NAU decides to give the answer back.
Northern Arizona now looking to put this one away. There's an opportunity. Can they find the rebound? Beast not quite facing the right direction. They need to get some more boost on their own. That's going to allow Stellar to take this one the other way. Another goal here might just be enough. And Scooter gonna deliver once again. This scoring spree coming out of nowhere for the Blue Hens. This was completely absent in the first 2 games. It looks like we're seeing an entirely different Blue Hens squad out right now. Just how much offensive pressure they're putting through. We talked about they needed to capitalize on their opportunities. Well, ladies, gentlemen, and everything in between, this is exactly what that looks like. Every single time Delaware has had an opening, they have capitalized on it.
Stellar, deflects the ball, but only to give it up towards the side of Chronicles. Scooter from the back lines. Passes it back towards Stella. Galaxy is going to be the one who might get away with the possession, but Stella just denies the fight in the mid, gets the demo, and with that, it's going to be down to the final 2 minutes. Team NAU still looking for options. They are going to be worried about the backlines as Odds comes in from the side. Galaxy good for the first 50, but Chronicle gets the clearance. Odds yet again denying him, but Beast is just there. All the 3 players are just committing in. There's no player towards the defense. If Galaxy gets demoed, this could be the window which could be opened up for the side of Team Arizona. But this is a chance. The ball is almost in and Stella does the job. The 4th goal for the game, number 3. And this is going to be the start of Team Delaware, who will be putting a statement that the series is nowhere even been close to over. NAU are just not looking in the classic form which we used to see them, especially in these end minutes.
NAU now down to less than 30 seconds per goal in order to get back into this. That's usually what kind of ends up being the death note. Once you have less than 30 seconds for a goal in order to get back into it, get it tied, it starts to get desperate almost to find a way back into it. And NAU has not shown that they're a super high scoring team yet. We've seen them, every single game before this one, very, very low score count before Delaware just busted it wide open. So NAU with 1 minute left on the clock. I think this is time to experiment. I think this is time to try something new. I think this is time to very quickly implement a new game plan and just see what it can do for you. See if it can make any progress against this blue-headed squad.
At this point, they're going to be pretty much convinced to go on to game number 4. Get works, get the comms on. Yet again, Stella looking for the 6 for his team. Let's see how that's going to pan out as Arizona in the defense. Looking a little strong, but Blue Hands has to make sure that before the game ends, they give no chance. Final 35 seconds remaining. Odds, defense. From the back comes Beast, but the 50 gets up for the side of Odds. There's a demo on the side of Stella, which gives a big opportunity for the side of Arizona to just get the clearance. Stella from the spawn comes in from the back line, but Beast with the deflection is going to get the ball away from the goal line.
10 seconds left on the clock.
Oh no.
Don't think we're going to be able to see anything from that one. I don't know that I've seen any volleyball game good enough to get 4 goals. Last chance here from Delaware to try to put a little bit something extra on the clock, go for the style points. Not gonna find it. That ball just a little bit too low. But just like that, a breath of life put into Delaware. Amazing performance. We saw a hat trick as well as 2 goals and saves all around. Amazing job by Delaware to not only put on a textbook performance, putting on a lesson in how to score, but spreading it around, making sure everybody got involved.
Exactly. It's going to be an interesting series. For the first time, finally, not an easy, a lot of clean sweep. Most of the Rocket League we got to see, just the first game itself, was pretty one-sided. We were expecting coming down to this second game of the day as well that Delaware might be the one who would be the clear favorites to get away with the victory. But that doesn't seem to be that easy. Like Arizona has already managed to put 2 points on the series. They just 1 more point away. They just need 1 more game. But after the game we just witnessed, having a goal differential from 1-1 goal each in the first 2 games, going all the way towards a 4-goal differential, that's not going to be as easy as it seems. And I'm going to be pretty excited and happy to see how is Team NAU going to manage to pull this off. Because if they lose this 4th game, the mental is going to be completely up. The mind games are going to be completely in the favor of the Blue Hands, and they again look to get it done in the very 4th game. If they manage to lose the 4th one, things are not going to be looking pretty much decent. But at this time, I think this is the best chance for the side of NAU to close things up and get the victory in the very first week.
Yeah. Into this 4th game, we are going to switch back onto those West servers, back to giving NAU that home field advantage. We saw how devastating they could be with that, able to get themselves 3 goals in the first game, setting themselves apart from the Blue Hens. And this time, still though, not looking like it's making too terribly much of a difference, as this Delaware squad, even with that, kind of away side, able to put on a ton of offensive pressure, keeping this ball on the gray side of the field, keeping NAU on the defensive, and the Lumberjacks really struggling to find a way out of this offensive push from Delaware at the moment. Well, Emma maybe does it.
Big demo. Oh, Stellar is going to come in, but there's a chance. Odds going to come up to be the savior. The first attempt being denied, and Team NAU still looking to get some options and explore their options in the offense.
Alex is now looking to set themselves up. Not going to be able to do it. Beast doing a great job making a name of themselves. Freshman coming up here, trying to add on a little bit more for their team. Scooter not able to get there. No worries, Stellar is there, but this midfield battle continues as Galaxy's going to hit it right back. Monaco now with the setup. Not enough boost to keep it going. Used a little bit too much to get up to that height. And with no teammate able to pass it off to, it's just going to get right back to that Lumberjack side. Huge demo here. Might end the offensive push. What a shot from mid-pitch by Galaxies. Puts NAU in the driver's seat.
What a beautiful redirect to beat Scooter and get the first one. Team NAU, the best chance to get the series victory starts right here. 2 minutes inside the game, they finally get the first one, and now Northern Arizona really need to make sure that they don't just slip out that lead. They have been the one who have been known to give these comebacks. Seller yet again passes it up towards Odds, and that's an instant answer back. What a way to bring things up towards an equalizer in the very 18 seconds of third minute. And Odds, that was an interesting goal. Yet again, the game is going to be on. We are in for the long game, I believe. And coming down to the fourth game, yet again an equalizer. Team Delaware looking really as strong as ever at this point, as they are feeling it right now.
Yeah, I love Delaware answering back so quickly on that goal, putting this game right back to where it was. First 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Don't even worry about it. We're on this 1-1 from here on out. Galaxy's trying to set it up. Great pass to Conical there. He gets an offensive push while also getting the demo. Still, though, not going to be able to set too much up. His Scooter's right back there, looking out for it. Delaware here trying to set it up. Galaxy's right there. This defensive rotation just continues from Delaware at the moment, keeping it on this side. Oh, huge demo. That might set something up. Usually we see the weak team get a goal after the demo. This time, though, Ball's just going to get sit right up into the air at mid-pitch. No one able to take advantage.
Looks for pass towards the center. Scooter wins the 50, but still, it's just Team NAU who will get on top. Odds is the only player left in the defense. Scooter comes in from the back line, manages to get away with the save. But is that going to be enough, as NAU still look to constantly bring these pressures up? And, Arizona, they are in a very troublesome spot as Stella comes up with the shot, and there's no one to defend it. It's the reverse setback from the side of Team Delaware. Is this a reverse setback just in game number 4? Or is it going to end up in the entire series is a big question, as final 87 seconds approaches. NAU are not looking in a comfortable position. This is the chance. This was their best shot to close things up. They got the first goal itself in the very, I think, second minute. But after that, things yet again look so much favoring. The momentum looks to go up the side of Team Blue, Blue Hens.
Delaware, 1 goal up, 1 minute remaining. I'm still on the clock here for NAU, but changes have to come quick. And NAU, they've been playing a pretty calm, pretty decisive game thus far. We haven't been seeing them take these huge risks, huge high reward, high return plays. But here, tries to find something. Ball's just hanging there. Still can't find it. Beast, just a little bit off target. And NAU not gonna find the goal that was promised to them. What a golden opportunity just left on the table. Long ball now, not gonna find anything. And Connor gets the rebound, they're trying for the cross. There it is for NAU! Northern Arizona Lumberjacks right back in it.
Well, it looked as if this is going to be such a tough spot for them to recover from the position they have been in. But as we head on to the final 30 seconds, finally, Northern Arizona are going to come up with an equalizer. 26 seconds on the clock. And these are going to be some final seconds, which is going to decide either it's the decider game, which we'll be heading on to, or is it going to be a big win for the side of NAU Chronicles. Goes up towards the rooftop, passes it back towards center. Galaxy comes on to get the conversion. Chronicle looking for options in the center. He gets an opportunity and Stellar gives away the entire victory from his own self. That is one big blunder you do not want to end things up with. And what a tragedy for the side of Delaware in the end. This is not how it was supposed to end. 6 final seconds, do they still have a kickoff chance is the only question.
Not the correct lucky spawns there on the kickoff, but the goal comes through and it's on the wrong side though. And that's gonna be it. Chronicle putting this game away, not willing to wait for overtime, says 1 goal is not enough. Let me go grab 2 really quickly. That first one, that wasn't convincing enough. Let me add another one onto the highlight reel. And with that, Delaware not finding their way in week 1 as NAU set themselves up for a great second half of the season.
Oh, what a storyline. What a roller coaster ride it seems to be for the side of team, Blue Hens. But nonetheless, coming down to what we expected coming down to this game and the way, the entire match happens to go down. Northern Arizona managed to get the first victory in the very own starting week. And this is a big statement right here. Like a winning both of the starting games with just a difference of 1 goal, then coming down to the final must-win game, because if they wouldn't have won this, it would have been a very difficult spot for them to recover. They would have probably asked for themselves to get the break before the final decider game comes up. But the race towards the finish line was up from the side of Northern Arizona in the very fourth game itself, and they get the victory. This was an interesting match, I think, for the entire day, and I'd love to see what's going to be up as we move on to the final game, which will be up next. But what are your thoughts on what went wrong on the side of Delaware? Because unfortunately, Delaware, they were looking to get those, like a constant aggression. They were adapting towards certain situation. When you talk about game 2, it's just those minute mistakes and the opportunity which gets open up, and it goes in the favor of Team Arizona.
Yeah, I think Delaware there just not quite coming out with the look that we expected them to. I think the Blue Hens came out so incredibly strong there, and I don't know that anyone was, or actually, I think the Lumberjacks came out with such a strong look there that I don't know that anyone was ready for it, much less the Blue Hens getting put on the back foot. We do have an interview with NAU just in a moment here, so be ready for that. Oh, here we go. Galaxies. How are you feeling after a win like that? Oh, Galaxy.
Oh, I think
Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, Galaxies.
Hey,
How are you feeling
hi
after
everyone.
a win like that? Yay!
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Can't believe to be back again. We're coming back for a W.
Absolutely. We saw you today. You looked absolutely amazing. We saw the new player in Beast. How was it like getting them worked up into the roster, getting them, prepped for this week 1 challenge?
It feels great because we've been practicing the past few weeks as a team, and we just feel really comfortable and really good together, and it just turned out like a great game. We won 3-1 as it says at the bottom right there. We just played a good game against Delaware, and sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, that's completely fine. I think that's well said from your side. But what do you want to come down to your teams? Like the Chronicles had a series. If you take entirely look after all the 4 games, you talk about Base being the player to hop inside the playing 3. How is it going for you guys, and how does the comms look like in the very final seconds, as you knew that the lead was gone away to the side of Delaware, and there was a potential map 5 coming in?
Well, we just kind of just stayed calm and relaxed. It's just we were after the first loss. We're like, well, we gained. We as soon as we were down like 1-5, we were like, all right, let's just focus on the next game. It's all right. We lose this one. We just regained and we rebuilt that mental, clicked on the mental switch, and we just kicked it into gear.
Well, I do want to ask, is there anyone shout out you want to give? Anyone you want to really prop up for their great work coming into this game?
Um, Shout out to the team. Shout out to Chronicle and Beast. Shout out to NAU Esports, all on socials. Shout out to you guys as the casters, and shout out to all the families and friends watching. I know, it's a great game for Gay One, and yeah, shout out to Snorlax. It's on my chest. um, yeah, shout out to all the families and friends. I know I was all on my phone just telling all my friends and family, come watch the game. Let's have some fun.
Wow.
Great game.
And I think that was a pretty wholesome ending for you as well, getting the win, being the first team to cross the finish line, and each and every game being that close. But an interesting game, and thank you so much for joining us. And an amazing talk with you guys, and obviously waiting to see much more domination in the coming weeks. But with that, I think we will be sending things down to a small little break, as we will be heading up for the very next match, which is gonna be the final series of the day. I think it's going to be a very interesting one, just as we got down in the game number 2. First game from the start of Rochester, going all the way in a clean sweep with a 3-0 fashion up against Connecticut.
Yeah, so far, if we're looking at the pattern, the team on the left is winning. So, left team supremacy, is there something to say about it there? Maybe Auburn can complete that one. This is Auburn's first year in the EGF. So, hey, any little small advantage you can eke out, there you go for it. Auburn, as I said, new team in the EGF, so completely new roster to us, completely new roster in the EGFC. All of these players are brand new. As we take a look at them, as we go to the head to head right here, here we go. We got Dreskel, Threat, and Mango coming in for Auburn. Meanwhile, on Xavier, we've got Galaxy, Confused, Irish, and Scrib. But we've got one more player hiding in the wings. That's going to be Aerials as a sub for Auburn. They're not on the starting roster, but if they need them, if Auburn feels they need to make adjustments, Aerials sitting on the sideline, ready to go whenever they're needed.
This could be a game changer, I believe. Like having that one sub ready who will be on the back line and will be taking a look after the entire team. It's like having a coach after each and every game, getting those comms right, getting to know what the opponents are going to be up to. Because when you end game as a player, you have your team, which you will be looking and working things up. You would be adapting according to your team, and where you would want to fill in those gaps where you guys are kind of missing out. But when it comes down to having a sub, I think this could, like pretty much pay out like interestingly. About time how they make the most out of it. About time that we get to see Ariel joining in. But yeah, with that, I think the first game of this is going to be starting pretty much soon. It's going to be the final series, and I'm going to be pretty excited to see which team will win. I think I would really go with the left team. It's going to be the side of Auburn University. Let's see if the left side buff actually goes on.
I mean, hey, you got to keep up the left supremacy, right? Auburn, that's I guess that they would be the away team in this analogy. Usually we see the home team on the right. So we're going off of traditional sports. There you go. Here we are on the kickoff. However, Auburn Tigers trying to send it their way, and kickoff not really going either team's way, but Mango going to be the one trying to push pace here, going to immediately get knocked out. No worries though, Auburn Tigers teammate right there, ready to help him out. And God threat, set it up, Driscoll, talk about an early goal, not even taking 20 seconds, and the Tigers are on the board.
What an assist from the side of Godred and Galaxy. I don't think that he might have really anticipated it to just miss out from his chance. Misses by an inch, but costs him a mile, because now he has to recover from that 1 goal deficit, which they have just inverted onto themselves in the very first side. Yet again, I think the answer back might really come in, as Xavier are looking in a very comfortable position. But that's going to be the side of Team AU, who will be bringing things down to an attack, a constant aggression, which is now going to come in as the ball hovers towards the backboard. From the backline comes Godred, but that's going to be a 50-50 being secured. Xavier still looking to defend it, but that's going to be the side of Team Auburn, who might get away, but well, the ball and the fade says no.
All these shots on the goal for Auburn. This game very quickly tuning up to be a shootout here, as Auburn had 3 shots on goal in about as many seconds. Xavier also putting up a similar offensive effort. Anytime the ball is on one side of the field, be looking for these schools to absolutely send it through with no fear. Here, Galaxy gets the clear. Can anyone there to keep it moving? Not quite gonna find it here. Just a little bit to go. Here's the shot. Mango's got it. Coming out from the corner from right field, sends it through and threads the needle off of the assist coming from Xavier, actually.
And with that, it's going to be Auburn getting the second goal of the very first game. Just starting 84 seconds inside the game, and the goal.
Oh, the
that
kickoff.
could have been a potential, but Mango. Oh man, that's the third goal for the side of Team Auburn, and I think this doesn't seem to be the best start. Team Xavier might want to forget whatever happened and might want to get themselves reset things up to get ready out of where they are missing out. You know, a lot of open windows for the side of Auburn, and they are, you know, just get versions whenever they see, you know, to seize the opportunities.
Auburn was coming into this one as a big unknown, but they're very quickly answering that question. Mango with a hat trick now. We don't even have 3 minutes gone. We don't even see 3 minutes on the clock, not even 2 minutes. We are just sending it through. Auburn putting up a pace unlike anything we've seen before in week 1. This is insane. Oh no, they can't do it again, can they? Oh, Galaxy. No, they can't do it again!
Oh my god.
Right there to send it through! How dare you try to sleep on these Tigers?
20 seconds per goal is the rate at which Team Auburn University are going through a dominant game number 1. And, you know, we don't want to talk about the left side buff. We don't want to talk about left supremacy here. But at this point, Mango, oh man, he's just playing as if he's smurfing in the entire game. Scrib yet again comes to defend. It kinds of deflect, but Driscoll, oh, there's a threat in the middle as Godred still tries to defend. Oh, there's a chance. This is an opportunity which could be capitalized from the side of Xavier. But this respawn comes in after the demo. It's Galaxy going up towards the air dribble, and there is a player towards mid. But nonetheless, Auburn is going to successfully get the clearance.
Not quite halfway through this game. Talked about earlier, though, usually we want to chart out about 30 seconds as a reasonable time frame to get back into games. And 30 seconds going to be passing right about now. Half the match is gone, and Xavier needs to put up an insane pace to get this moving. I predicted the shootout at the beginning of this match, and thus far it's looking to be a one-side shootout. Auburn bringing some huge guns to the table. Xavier needs to respond. Great opportunity for them there, but not going to get it. The ball shifts in. Mango almost set themselves up for another goal, but the defense for Xavier starting to come alive here late in game one. Able to knock that one away. Now as the ball is a little bit more aged, I would say. There's a little bit more time on the clock, not quite as many, goals just right off the kickoff. Pace is slowed down. Xavier is looking significantly better, is able to put up good rotation in defense here. Still looking for that first strong offensive possession from them since all the goals from the Tigers, but their defensive rotation's looking much stronger here down the stretch.
Exactly. Galaxy wins the 50. There is a player towards the back line, but that's just a very long gone possession up, but still a chance. Xavier exploring the option, but Draskil is going to come. Galaxy goes for these constant attempts, and this doesn't stop here. As Arish is going to come in from the back line, the clearance is there, and this opens an opportunity, a room for the side of Auburn, as they might get a demo as well. Just down to one final player, who is going to be Galaxy. The respawn does come. Mango on the midfield beats one. There's a chip, but it's going to be the start of script who will be ending things up. We move on to the final 60 seconds in Auburn. There's no turning their aggression down, and there's no goal yet in from the side of Xavier's, as they still look to head it in the final seconds.
Auburn looking to just increase their lead as much as possible now. Game pretty much put in their back pocket at this point. Just looking to make sure that Xavier can't find any adjustments, can't find any new ways to play as they start getting ready for game two and try out some adjustments of their own. They haven't found a way to break through the Xavier defense once they're actually set up in rotations in their different style. And so, hey, if you're going to find a new way to do it, you're going to find a new, way to break through a defense, now's a good time to do it. There's no risk to you. I mean, hey, just throw the ball towards the goal. Why not? The worst that can happen. Well, the worst that can happen is you're screwed, but you get sent back to the junkyard. Set up now. Oh, Mango once again. 4 goals in game one. Doesn't even need any help on the assist, because I can do my own cross, and it grabs yet another goal.
A 6-0 scoreline, and that's Team Auburn just looking confident after game number one. At least a single goal from the side of Xavier would have been something they could have asked for, and that finally arrives as the clock hits nil. They get away with the first one, and a much needed one, just to get things right, just to keep the hopes alive that it's just the game number one. They are getting warmed up, they are getting inside the zone, but they want to just get those comms pretty, I'll say the synergy, the comms pretty accurately, especially when you see the start of Team Auburn constantly, being so uncertain at points where we have seen goals, we have seen, position from the side of players of Team Xavier's in places where they shouldn't have played, it's just those in-game, these critical decision making which they end up doing, and that caused them an entire goal. And in the starting, I think it was like a 3 minute 23 seconds where we had like 5 goals already, but after that it's just been a single goal, as Xavier kind of thought and kind of realized where they are lacking on. And I think after that, an entire stretch of 3 minutes, after which we only saw 1 goal from either side. So starting 90 seconds yet again being a big tragedy, but after that I think Xavier are now finally starting to realize and get themselves in the proper spot.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's 3 minutes for Auburn to find their 6th goal. Meanwhile, they found their first 6 in the first 2 minutes. Xavier, right at the end there, was able to turn their goose egg into a French fry. So a little bit more progress on their end. I mean, that sets them up well going into this next game. That does set them up, for these adjustments. Auburn very clearly citing on this offensive rush. They want to keep the ball on Xavier's side. They want to keep putting shots on the goal. They want to keep putting pressure. They want to continue to push the pace here against Xavier. I think if Xavier can go back to that style that we saw in the mid game, really slow this game down, wait for Auburn to maybe overcommit a little bit, and then just take it back the other way, we can see a lot of progress for them. Here, trying to start off with a good kickoff. Once again, no one really finding a ton of progress for it. It is going to be Threat, though, maybe trying to look for a setup. We saw Mango sweeping around the other end. We know they have a good amount of boost. Not able to find a ton there. They are just going to bounce it off stressful. At the moment, Xavier here having a good offensive possession. Auburn not able to clear it. Shot on goal. Great block, but it's just lingering right in front. Still, Auburn manages to get it away by the skin of their teeth.
Oh, I made it demolished, but the ball just hovers around the crossbar. A chance again. Xavier, that's gonna hurt so much. Two big opportunities, two big options for them, and it just kind of slips out. But that was start. I think the first minute, putting down, the side of Team Auburn in such a high pressure situation, indeed tells a lot of story itself. Mango, the fight towards mid. It's all down to Galaxy. Galaxy is the only player, and he manages to pull out the entire ball towards the off position. But then Mango from the sideline comes in, a good air dribble, and gets the ball in the net. It's going to be the first goal again from the side of Auburn University. With Xavier's, I want to say this, they didn't deserve that to happen in the end of the very starting minutes. Getting those two big opportunities, just one chance for the side of Auburn, and that just completely goes away. One reason being that they had two of their players be demoed, and third, completely slipping out to that air dribble, which came in so completely, sick from the side of Auburn.
Yeah, Auburn right now really leaning on this offensive threat, offensive powerhouse to lead their game through. I would love to see Xavier match their aggressiveness. You got to just go shot for shot at this point. Honestly, just abandon the defense. Like, it's not really working out for either team. The play seems to be on the offensive side. I think if you just can get as much numbers as possible on the scoreboard, that's going to be what wins it for you. Here, Auburn trying to do exactly that, setting themselves up once more. Here's Mango. High cross, not going to be good enough. They can't set themselves up that time. Scrib, great little deke there to get it across midfield as confused Irish continues to try and get that possession on to the Tigers' half. Mango able to set themselves up, not going to be there for very long. Scrib from the top rope, just off target. It would be knocked away, and it's going the other way.
As it looks to go towards the side of Team Auburn, Scrib does manages to get the clearance, but not for too long. Mango misses his chance. It's going to be down towards the side of Dreskill, who will get an opportunity, who will get an option. Auburn University, they have been looking to get these options, but that's not going to be easy. It's going to be down to Scrib. Mango kind of defends it, but this now gives him a counter-attack opportunity to bring the ball towards the center, but a great defensive duties yet again being maintained. Xavier, they have not just been looking so good in the offense, but the defensive rotations also look so strong. They get these double commits, they get these players up towards the offense, but the rotations are just on point, as the demos are going to be the answer, it seems, which could open up that window for the side of Team Auburn. But yet again, being built up from the side of Xavier. The pass might come towards the center. Scrib wanted to capitalize, but the ball deflects and it goes all the way up to create an opportunity, but Galaxy saves it for one more time.
Yeah, Xavier here once again looking very strong when the game slows down a little bit. The issue is they're just not able to find their offensive possessions. Even when they have opportunities, the shot to set each other up, it's just not quite on target right now. We're seeing their crosses be a little bit too high, be a little bit too fast. No one's there to capitalize on it. And so while they're slowing down, the pace has worked amazingly for this defensive style. It's only held Auburn to 1 point compared to the 6 we saw last game. It's not working in getting them their own points. It doesn't matter if you only hold Auburn to 1 point if you're not able to get any yourselves. And Xavier is having a hard time even keeping the ball on Auburn's half here. Here, Galaxy, a little bit of a breakaway. 1v2, can't get it around Brett, however. Can Scrib maybe do something? No, it's just going to be in the corner, bouncing right back out. Mango keeps it up. Galaxy, there's the cross, but Irish just isn't close enough. Can't get there in time. With 30 seconds remaining, this is probably the best chance they're going to get. Rebound, can anyone get to it? No, Galaxy! Once again, the person in the mid is just too far away for Xavier to take advantage, and Mango able to get him in transition.
Just a little too power there, I think, back foot pass, but these are the things, you want to count on for the side of Team Xavier's, that those comms, those, crucial decision making, especially in chance like these. I think that's the 4th best chance for them. to get the goal, but still they have been down to 0. Like, this is so, like, unbelievable to believe, because we can see the shots on target from either side. All these players are going to get combined of 4 to 5 shots on target. Yet again, chances being missed, and as we go down to the final seconds, things seems to be all up for a 2-0 head start. One final opportunity as the ball's around, waiting to touch the ground. Mango might really capitalize on this chance, but that's the touchdown. It's the side of Auburn University. 2-0 start one more time, and they look strong as ever. A big progression, and I think a big setbacks in play in terms of defense, in terms of the rotations, and the way the players were, like the players from the side of Xavier's were trying to get themselves up with a window, but nonetheless, they didn't even manage to get a single goal, and that seems to be such a big breakdown entirely if you take a look after how the game started versus how the game ended, and it completely went in a 0-2 against them.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see these mid-match adjustments that teams do, how they, change up the pace, change up the style, change up the rotations. I think that's really one of the true tests of a team is, can you make those adjustments in the middle of a match? We're seeing Xavier make those adjustments. That's not the question. The issue is, can they make the adjustments to the offense? They've really invested in their defense. They literally cut the points that Auburn scored in third of what they scored in the first game. Usually we would see something like that and it's an automatic win. You're holding an opponent to what they scored a third of last time. Great, you've got it. This is advantage all you. Issue is, I don't know if that adjustment's taken too much from their offense. They're devoted too much to their defense at this point. Or is the attack from Auburn here just so strong that the only way to keep there from being something like 6 points on the board is to commit fully to defense? I think at this point, if you're Xavier, it's do or die territory. This is your last game. Overcommit. Play Auburn's game. We see this a lot of times where, if you can't beat them, join them. Go on Auburn's side. Play this aggressive. Just turn this into a shootout. If you might win 11-10, but it doesn't matter. So long as you have one more goal than the opponent, that is all that matters right now. And here's a good setup. Scrib, they've got it. Devoted to offense. Scrib comes through on a great setup from the Galaxy. And just like that, Xavier sees their first lead that they've seen all night.
I read them like a book, just how the previous series, as you mentioned, going all out attack. I think this is what Delaware also came up with, and that resulted in a 6-1 scoreline after being down to 2 in points. But could this be a setback? Well, that didn't live long. I think Aerials is going to be the addition, which now comes in for the side of Team Auburn. And I think this is one of the best time. He has no pressure. He could just play the game as he wants to usually. He could be comfortable in certain spot. He could go and try those, those individual brilliance we talk about. And this is where I think Aerials could really upshine. And after being up at 2-0, this is their best chance to bring him in and see what potential and what caliber could he bring into this team. But nonetheless, an instant equalizer. Xavier are looking to get the second as soon as possible.
Talk about being explosive off the bench. Ariel's wasting no time to respond to Xavier's challenge. Now, this offensive spread has to go again. Goes open! Galaxy's there! And Xavier taking a note out of Auburn's book. Ariel's trying to get the setup with Dresco, not gonna find it. Mango's not there in time. And just like that, Galaxy themselves respond. If we see less than 20 kickoffs in this last game, I'm going to be disappointed.
I think 20, okay, let's see. But I think, what really saw up until this point from the side of Auburn, this was the first time you actually saw them do a mistake. This was the first time you actually saw them miss a big chance, which certainly went so, greatly in the favor of Xavier. And this could be another one of those, as the rotations have been not looking that well. You can still see Mango all the way up towards the offensive position. The pressure is constantly being built up. Script comes up to get a big clearance, but then again, Mango, he looks so strong in these midfield fights and always manages to get the 50-50 for himself. Ariel with the ball to go for an air dribble, looks to pass it up towards an offensive position, but gets taken down. Irish, meantime, yet again in a good spot, but the ball is not right close to him. There is a demo, so means Mango is going to be taken down. It's only 2 defenders. This could be the chance for Xavier to get the 2 lead, but that doesn't stay alive for too long.
Iris there, just bulldozing through the Auburn squad to get the ball moving the other way. Huge demo here, might set it up. Another demo as well, trying to get that ball going the other direction. Galaxy fighting for it, but Mango's right there. Another demo! Are we playing Wreckfest or Rocket League right now? Good lord!
That's a disrespect. They're going on for these bombs. Constant demos. I think this is going to get a pretty annoying. I think Auburn are really going to start to fight back. You talk about going all in. I knew that, out of goals, they also wanted to go in onto these demos. Ideal meantime goes on for a top rooftop pass, but nonetheless, Mango has to be the one who yet again comes out to be strong in these midfields. From the back lines, misses his chance. Is still going to be down to aerials as his passes it back. One player being down, but the double commit kind of helps. But how long will it be? Because it's only down to one final player being in the back lines. There is a shot on target, rooftop, but nonetheless, Mango still keeping the ball in a very dangerous spot for Xavier.
Only one goal for Auburn this far. This is by far the least that we've seen from him. Yeah. 6 in the first, 2 in the second. Here, having a hard time getting it moving back towards the Xavier side. Xavier doing such a good job at keeping this offensive pressure on, keeping this midfield rotation going, that anytime we see Auburn start to try to clear it out, just get sent right back to their side. And at this part, all Xavier needs to do is play that slow game that they've been so good at. Play this midfield, completely stall, find an open goal. Can they assist themselves? No, unlucky bounce is gonna mean Galaxy can't find their way to the goal. That last touch just not quite set up. So sad to see if you're a Xavier fan.
But as you mentioned, I think that was a pretty unfortunate position. That goal would have meant everything for the side of Xavier. That would have really informed at least a 4th game, if not, a setback in this game, as the lead would have stretched down to a 2 goal. But now, as we hop on to the final minutes, good pass towards the center as Irish still fights up towards his mid, but Rascal might have a chance. Mango misses, and that was a complete wide open opportunity from the side of Xavier, just been given out. Aerials is the only player left in the back lines. Mango comes out, and the rotations yet again being so strong if you talk about, like Rascal and Mango. But now, final 30 seconds, Xavier just need to conserve this.
Those long assist passes, they're so hard to do right, especially in midair right there. They're so incredibly important. They can give you those goals in transition and open just everything up, but at 15 seconds left, it has come down to the final moment for the Tigers. 10 seconds on the clock now. Aerials trying to get it back moving the other way. First, I have to get past Galaxy. He's not going to be able to do it. Mango only getting a glancing blow on the ball, not able to find any movement. 2 seconds now. We're in volleyball time. It just has to hit the ground, and Xavier staves off defeat and finds a new lease on life as they're able to grab a game here going into game number 4. And no sweep today. Only the first game we got to see a sweep.
Yeah. 2-1 scoreline and a much needed win. I think this was one of the most much needed win for the side of Xavier's. Not just assist entirely brings them up to know what they truly are, like their true caliber, but also to get to know that, this entire season isn't going to be, just a moments of clean sweeps and getting a fight which is either completely on your side or it's going to be completely, on your opponent's side. Having one of those, one-sided entire teams. But nonetheless, after this game, as we move on to the 4th game, let's see how the situation are going to stand up for the side of Auburn. I think Indians happened to be the one who came up with the only goal which was scored from the side of Auburn. I think the rotation were kind of looking, not in the most comfortable spot. We saw one of the goals just being given out, and Xavier, as I mentioned, like Auburn, we have seen them giving out much of those options. They just keep such a slice room of mistake that Xavier weren't even able to score in the second game, and in the first game it was just down to such a dominant victory. So let's see as we move on to the 4th game of the series how it's gonna pan out.
On this kickoff, Auburn with a good setup there. Mango trying to get the cross. Aerials not quite there, just a moment late. Now Scrib can be a shot, but floats a little bit too much as both players from Auburn commit to the ball twice. No one's going to be there to capitalize on it once it finally hits the ground. Irish throwing it up in the air. That's up for anybody. It's going to be Mango that comes down with it, looking at the goal. They got to get past one. Like a little float play, not able to find it though. And then while they set it up for aerials, the final touch wasn't there. Both amazing moves coming out of the Auburn squad there. I'm surprised that didn't come up with a goal. There was so much finesse in everything they had.
Exactly, I think that flip reset, if that would have been a goal, some extra points there too, but aerials this time. Moving on from the sidelines, there is no pass towards the center. Mango might wanted to look for an opportunity, but this comes out to be strong for the side of Xavier. As the crossing looks good, Irish is going to pull things down towards the center. Aerials is going to win it and is going to get the ball back. Galaxy just gives out the ball entirely, just reclaimed onto a 50-50, but Irish, yet again, it's a triple player defense, and that's so unbroken at this time. Xavier have been really looking strong, and Team Auburn, the only way they could have really, gotten a chance is through these, mid pushes. And okay, what a misflick there from the side of Desk. I think there was a comp that Mango wants to receive it, but nonetheless, that would have really paid off pretty hefty.
3 minutes almost left in the game. The longest we've gone without seeing a goal from either side here in such an offensive game up until